Okay, should be rolling live on Facebook now. Morning, everybody. Welcome. Let me make sure I have the dual cast going on. It's going to pop up on my browser here in just a second. So bear with us while I make sure that volume doesn't interrupt us, and then we'll get rocking and rolling on our topic for this morning. Let's see here. Okay. Go to the Habit Finder page. Make sure that the volume is down. Well, those of you who are jumping on and joining us, if you haven't been seeing any of my trainings, at least this week, I've got a conjunctival hemorrhage in my left eye, so it makes me look super creepy. I apologize in advance. It is not painful. It's just really annoying and looks really wild when you can see it well. But good morning, Donna. Hey, I'm just trying to get this pulled up, but while I'm doing this, excited for our topic today. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, which is we just call my parents' anniversary hangover, because yesterday was my dad and my mom's 44th wedding anniversary. So huge, woohoo, super awesome. I tell that to people, and they just, I mean, it's amazing how in awe people are that we stay married that long anymore these days, which is really interesting. But today, simply put, as my dad and I were talking about what topic we wanted to discuss today, I mean, it made all the sense in the world to talk about love. I mean, let's talk about relationships. Let's talk about those we care most about and some of the things that we can focus on to make today an amazing day and to even make some shifts from here through the rest of our lives. I've had the opportunity to watch my father work with over 200 couples, one-on-one or one-on-two, I guess in that case, up at our cabin and other great environments to work on their relationships, because we've found with a lot of our clients that business problems are personal problems in disguise, because everyone's looking for this work-life balance. How do I get work-life balance? Well, first of all, it doesn't exist, because you're creating two categories that don't exist. There's life, and work happens to be a subcategory under life. It's all life. So today we're going to talk about love in terms of life entirely, in terms of our closest relationships and things that you can focus on today and beyond that can make a huge impact. So with that, one of the greatest lessons that I ever learned from my father that wasn't necessarily taught to me, it was something I witnessed, which makes it even more powerful, is I never, ever, ever had to wonder how he felt about my mom. I never had to wonder if an argument or a misunderstanding or a long day ever became more important than her, because it never did. I mean, in all respects, she is his queen in the most virtuous, beautiful, angelic way in the world. I got to watch the way that an interaction between a couple like that should occur from the day I was born to even to this day, with no disintegration. If anything, just continual progression and depth within their relationship. Even in the last couple of years, watching them reach new areas of their relationship as they take on new adventures in life and other things. So I can't think of a better person to talk to you about this today. And I'll add in my 2 cents as we go along a little bit, as thanks to that kind of mentorship, have been able to get through some pretty wild storms in my own relationship. So excited to hand things over to you, Dad. Thanks for being here while you're in not so sunny San Diego today, but it's still a great place to be.
Makes it great if you want to be snuggling for a while, because Paul said to me this morning, Utah, it's 44 degrees and raining. I said, same here in Mission Beach, California. So it is great to be with all of you. And yesterday was the 44th anniversary. We need to be careful, because this isn't about me. The easiest part of treating Ramona like a queen for 44 years is she was an angel to start with. And Paul knows that too, because he's witnessed that in his life. So let's make sure we put that into perspective. Paul started this conversation with work-life balance. And people said, how do you run a business like you have for all of these years and have 7 children? And and 27 grandkids and keep it all together. And I remember, Paul, the day that Mom and I were standing in the front door of our house on Millbrook Way in Bountiful, Utah, and your older brother David and had just picked up the two kids, their two smallest kids. They'd been with us for the weekend, and both of them had colds. Ramona was a Sunday school teacher at the time, so she went and taught Sunday school on Sunday, and I watched the kids. And we were watching Bible videos. And it gave them, Elijah just sent them, fire from heaven about the time the orange juice got spilt on my favorite Persian rug, and popcorn was all over the place, and the little one reached into his diaper and put a brown racing stripe on the couch. I mean, it was one of those kind of weekends, where you just have to laugh because it's the only thing you can do to stay sane. Anyway, they're driving away and their taillights are disappearing in the distance. And I didn't even look at Ramona. I said, sweetheart, how did we do this? How did we manage 7 kids? And she didn't miss a single beat. She said, we didn't. When you were talking about work-life balance, I was drawn back to an interesting section in scroll number 4 of Og Mandino's 10 Scrolls. I'm Nature's Greatest Miracle. This is a strange topic to put in a self-esteem related scroll. I'm just going to read it to everybody this morning because herein lies the secret. The secret. I will concentrate my energy on the challenge of the moment, and my actions will help me forget all else. It's not trying to balance work and family. It's when you're with family, you're with family. When you're at work, you're at work. The problems of my home will be left in my home. I will think not of my family when I'm in the marketplace, for this will cloud my thoughts. So too will the problems of the market be left in the marketplace, and I will think not of my profession when I'm in my home, for this will dampen my love. There is no room in the marketplace for the family, nor is there room in my home for the market. Each I will divorce from the other, and thus will I remain wedded to both. Separate must they remain, or my career will die. This is the paradox of the ages. I'm nature's greatest miracle. Now, I haven't lived this perfectly by far, but when we do, Ramona has her own little business now. Here we are on vacation. We've had calls from clients and a few things that needed to be handled. So concentrate on the challenge of the moment, whether that's a home thing or then the family thing, and then you shift back. It's the ability to stay focused on the problem. I think that's the first piece that's really critical. The other one for all of you out there, it's a very simple concept. And we're finding this missing. And Paul, I just love when you were sharing with me that you made this commitment. You just made this commitment. It's a decision. Bam. And the decision is this. This is my sweetheart. This is my wife. This is my lover. This is my best friend. Period. Done. Too many in our conversations are still kind of keeping their options open. They're still looking around. When your wife is the only thing in your eyes and in your heart, there is no one else to compare. Then the total focus becomes helping them become the very best person they can become. That's the total focus. There's not a diluted focus. It's an absolute commitment to helping this person. This is my companion for the rest of my days on this life. And I believe in my own life forever. But just looking at this life, there aren't other options. Total 100% commitment. Paul, I had that dream I shared with you. I'm walking down that narrow hallway. There are no windows, there are no doors, except for at the very end of the hallway, there was a door. It was green for some reason. I thought that was interesting, a green hallway. And it was clear I'm either walking toward the door or backing up. You walk toward the door, then you open it. And I just knew in my dream that was representing commitment, total commitment, a narrow hallway, one direction or the other. There weren't any trap doors or safety nets or, hidden compartments. It's just straight through, door open. And I stepped out onto a glass floor. One of my favorite books is Stephen M. R. Covey's book, The Speed of Trust. And there I was on a glass floor, and there were 4 pillars holding it up. And I became very aware that it was fragile, and I knew the 4 pillars: integrity, intention, ability, and results. The 4 pillars of trust. That commitment leads to trust, but it's still fragile. Then beyond trust was a staircase leading up to a room, and every step had a name on it. Tenderness, kindness, gentleness, meekness, all those kinds of characteristics you want to bring to a relationship. And then there was the bedroom. And I thought it was interesting, symbolic, that intimacy has many steps to it. And one of the most precious is sexual intimacy. But it's reserved as the ultimate expression of total commitment. And we live in a world where it's a sporting event. People start dating. Well, I bought you McDonald's hamburger, can't we have sex? And then we have sex and then we start liking each other, and you move in, all of a sudden you go, ooh, burps and farts of life show up, excuse the expression. And I don't like him, or I don't like her. Now what do we do? It's like we got it all mixed up in the work we've done, Paul, in child abuse prevention. I wrote and directed the film series, Coming from the Storm. It's on every military base in the world, every department, the defense school system, 40,000 schools in the US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. Ray Helfer, the consultant who helped guide this project, works with latency age kids, and he would say, a 14-year-old would come in and say, I think I like this guy. Should I bake him a cake? And he said, well, how long have you been seeing him? 2 weeks. Have you had any intimacy? Oh, yeah, we had sex the first day. He said, that's the sign of an abused child. We live in an abused society where intimacy, that special intimacy, is a sporting event. And I know what it's like that when commitment is the present, total commitment, lifting, building, encouraging, trust is established, intimacy occurs from holding hands, opening a door, just a gentle kiss, gentle touch, to the glorious part of this expression of physical intimacy in a sexual way. And joyful, playful, fun, emotional, could be all kinds of things depending on the time in your life or the time of the week. What a great expression between two people who are absolutely committed to each other. It opens a door to a feast that very few people get to experience. And it is really delicious. And yesterday, with 44 years behind us, we just look back at all the things we've been through together. We made the decision yesterday. We did a 3.5-mile workout first thing in the morning. It was awesome. The fact that we can do that is even more awesome. We did that. We're coming back from it, and we said, everybody wants something else in their life, something different, something bigger, better, smaller, whatever it might be. And we came to the conclusion, we really like our life. We like our life. And I think at the foundation of loving our life is loving each other at that level. It's really precious. Thanks for letting me share that with everybody this morning.
Well, as we were talking about right from the onset, that business problems are personal problems in disguise, commitment is a huge part of that. One of the primary things we spend time with our clients on, whether they're Global 100 CEOs or a mom and pop shop or an executive in a company or a stay-at-home mom, whatever it is, we're finding that people keep going after life backwards, that I'm going to do some things, see how that makes me feel, and then make a decision, or in other words, a commitment after I kind of take the sum of those two parts. And we miss out on so many things because if we'll simply embrace the fact that the equation is thus: if you are committed, you will experience results, positive, amazing results. If you are not committed, you will become an expert of reasons. You'll have all the reasons in the world why the relationship didn't work out, why the business didn't work out, why your plan didn't work out or didn't work out as well as it should have, or thank goodness I had a plan B, because of this lack of commitment. We're human beings. I love the expression, we're not human doings, because the real order of commitment that we teach is that the commitment comes first. You make a decision, you make a commitment based on allowing your incredible mental faculties, the gifts we've been given, to be able to move beyond the present moment in our mind. We can play out quickly the level of our commitment to another person and being able to see that. We won't see all the details. It's not about clairvoyance or anything like that, but it's about really experiencing what it would feel like to be totally committed to this person, the good, the bad, the challenging, everything. I remember the moment that it happened for me. I was sitting there looking at my wife, who wasn't necessarily paying attention to me because I was still rehabilitating our relationship, which I say I was because I'm the one who created the challenges. And I just realized that this woman had seen the worst of me and was still here. And I felt like the Grinch, like where my heart just like went like 10 sizes bigger. It was so overwhelming. And I made a total commitment at that point. One, I wish I had fully understood earlier on, but Mandino said beautifully, there is an immeasurable difference between late and too late. And so it wasn't too late, and I made the commitment. When we do that, we don't quite understand when we're thinking about our life systematically, or we're thinking about our life logically or strategically, how that commitment will actually change unconsciously the quality of our actions. It's not, I'm interested and so I have good intentions. No, I am committed. I have decided, I've cut off from other options, and it memorializes and it enhances the quality of our actions, the quality of our interactions, which totally changes the feelings that were created. If we're going into something so important like a relationship, or even things like businesses, or even a marketing plan or whatever, if you aren't committed, you're going to take actions that may only be just enough action to see if it is going to work or not. We're trying to see how close to that edge we can get, when the commitment, the results we're looking for often is waiting for us to run and jump and just fly. And if we're just kind of taking enough actions to creep up to the edge, take a look down and see how we feel about this, then we miss the realization that we're actually creating our own self-fulfilling prophecies of our own insecurities, our own noise, our own weaknesses, our own shortcomings get to rule and dictate the lack of commitment. It's those things are human qualities of imperfections and mistakes and noise and self-deprecating dialogue and everything else. Those make the commitment for us. So what we're talking about today, Valentine's Day, and anything else in your life, let's go and reverse the order. Let's consider, because it'll still be scary. You don't get to feel amazing about it just because you made a commitment. That comes later when you've made the commitment. Those other options, those other justifications, those other rationalizations are no longer on the menu. And so now your actions can be more inspired. They can be more clear. They don't feel as heavy. There's still challenges, but that's why, as you've shared many times, Dad, it's a straight and narrow path, not straight as in the shortest distance between 2 points, but straight in terms of narrow and difficult and heading in the right direction. Too often we're too focused on how far we've traveled versus what direction we're headed. And commitment is an incredible guide. It's the ultimate compass to getting where you really want to be in your relationship, in your business, and anything else, rather than just take some actions, see how that makes us feel, and then let's determine our level of commitment, which there's a term for it. It's called confabulation, where our mind will actually rationalize that irrational process and will even convince us we were committed. I was committed, but we really weren't. And we left our fate up to a coin flip at that point. Let's put the coin back in the pocket and connect to our heart with a commitment, a decision in our relationships.
Thank you. I wrote this down: quality of your actions. Commitment impacts the quality of your actions. Brilliant. Does everybody hear that? Closing thought from me this morning. I made enough mistakes as a teenager to count for a lifetime. I worry about those who might be watching this morning going, yeah, but you don't know what I've been through or what I'm in the middle of or the problems I've had. I love when Helen Irwin, who's a friend of ours, says, Team Helen, let's go get this done. Team Helen, meaning all of her past thought processes from her past, her future self, and her present self. So for everybody on the call this morning watching this, we all have stuff. We also have a future, and our future can be totally different. And then we have the present. In the present, consider that possibility of making a total commitment, because it will impact the quality of your actions. And people say, well, what am I going to miss? What you're going to miss is what you miss if you don't make a commitment. That's what you're going to miss. If you just say, I'm going to spend my life doing this, and your life will have been a worthy life for having made the commitment and giving your life to that person, especially in Valentine's Day discussions. Because love just has its own rewards. May we have the courage to do this today. Greatest secret of success in all ventures is love. Well, I love you, son. I just want to shout out to your wife, Ashley. Because last weekend you were up at the cabin with a couple doing a snowmobile trip, and one of these couples occasions of your own with clients. And I knew from the backstory that Ashley wasn't feeling well. And wow, for her to show up the way she showed up is just a tribute to your sweetheart. So let's give a shout out to your sweetheart this morning, the mother of your 3 beautiful, beautiful children.
Mm-hmm. She took care of the beautiful part.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Awesome. All right. Love you too, Dad. Thanks for being here. I'm going to go jump into a session, and I know you've got a couple people to meet with today, but keep taking it all in San Diego, and we'll see you when you get back.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for being with us.
Bye, everybody.